Welcome once again to the MMOs.com podcast. This is episode 72 now, and this is Altai, joined this week by the full crew, starting with
Omer,
Gumball,
Matt,
Shirelia,
and
That was
we are all
beautiful.
here. Beautiful. We did
Our
it, guys.
whole crew.
The same pause between each name. That was good.
It was planned. It was rehearsed for years.
It was rehearsed.
Rehearsed. But before we get to the weekly raid, I want to say that League of Legends World Championships are going on, and what a great reason for me to become the gambling degenerate that I am, to jump into esports betting and throw my hat into the ring.
did you win though?
I did win, and actually, look, when Remo wins on esports betting, he shares the love. I gave away some free games on Discord to all the. Again, I gave a $1 game to everyone on Discord that was there. That was there watching with me, but I turned an $12 bet into $11.50.
So what you're saying is get on Discord when Omer's watching games that you bet on.
Yeah, but I want everyone to know I made another bet. This is a nice $12 bet, and if this bet wins, I will buy everyone on Discord who's any of the top 20 most active people any game they want on Steam. All right, this is for everyone listening.
Oh, be careful. There might be like one of those $1,000 DLCs on Steam.
Okay, none of those.
Omer, you're in the top 20 most active people. What are you
I
going to
know.
do then?
I'm gonna buy myself a game too. All right, the top 25. All right, most active people on Discord get a free game if this bet hits. But don't worry, guys, it's not gonna hit. If you look at the odds, the payout is 2,150 to 1. I bet on the 4 biggest losers to win, and it's probably not gonna happen.
So what you linked here was your bet slip, right? The current one or the
Yeah.
winning one?
This is the current one I'm betting on. This is a $12 bet. If these 4 teams win, if INTZ beats Edward Gaming, if Albus Nox beats Rocks Tigers, then Splice wins, and then Cloud9 wins, my $12 becomes, get this, 26,000. It's not going to happen.
Oh
though.
my
It's an
Oh my
unbelievable long shot.
Let's
It's
see
a
this,
$12
let's see
bet to win 26,000. Okay, I'm only risking $12 if I lose, so it's no big deal. But if this hits, I'm treating everyone on Discord to stake. All right, guys.
This isn't to win like the whole thing, is it? It's
No. Just these games.
Just the games
These
that are on the stream right now.
Yeah.
So those 4 games. And these are best of ones, right?
These are all best of ones.
So
and this
anything
is
can happen.
Anything can happen in esports. So, guys, you better be cheering for these guys. Free games all around if they win. All right, I'm spreading the love. You know what? I'll spend like $5,000, $10,000, just giving away shit. All right, if they win. All right.
They need to just not like lose the first game, because the first game gets lost and it's not fun anymore, right?
Exactly. And here's the funny thing too. Like honestly, like I'm perplexed at these odds for one reason. If you look at the first game, INTZ is the wild card team, so they obviously have a very low chance of winning. But they're playing against Edward Gaming. They literally had a huge upset and beat Edward Gaming like 3 days ago. They beat them 3 days ago. Why are the odds still paying 11.5 for 1?
Insane.
I think here's a more interesting point than just this your bet. Esports betting in general. I mean, the way we're doing it, and the way you've done it, is with Bitcoins through a European sportsbook. And a lot of people out there probably would like to make small bets like you, but currently it's not legal to do so, and the technical hurdles to going around those legal hurdles is very difficult.
That's the biggest problem. I mean, a lot of people I know on Discord, like, they saw my bets. Like, I want to do that too, but the problem is like it is very difficult to place these bets because it's illegal in their countries. They have to use Bitcoins. People aren't familiar with using Bitcoins, and it makes it very difficult.
How much of the future? Okay, so like last week we discussed a lot of esports buyouts, right? Like a lot of teams getting bought, a lot of money from like real sports going into esports. Now, how much of a boost would esports get if this whole betting portion of it could be figured out? Because I know a lot of people watch sports for the betting. Sports is just a thinly guised casino, I think, in my opinion. Like baseball, basketball, whatever, right? I think half the people who watch that stuff are just gamblers that don't have legalized gambling near them.
It could be with fantasy sports too. Like besides fantasy sports betting, they do like their own leagues and stuff. They gamble in that regards too. So yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, I think a lot of sports is just gambling. So if esports can crack that and we can start gambling on it, then I'll change my view that it's just esports is a fad and a bubble.
I'm inclined to think, knowing nothing at all, and pulling this out of my ass, that it's going to happen. That somehow it's going to be figured out. I don't really know why. I don't know if you guys can explain why is it that it's so hard right now to place bets on esports. What are the restrictions blocking it?
One, it's illegal.
Is it? But sports betting, like, can't you bet on like baseball games in a Vegas casino?
In a Vegas casino, you can bet on sports games, yes, but you can't bet on. There's no esports offered here.
So maybe you guys
that's only
only
in
in
Vegas.
Casino.
And
only in
again, that's
Vegas,
only in
though.
Vegas and like a few places, like Atlantic City. So what my brother linked is this nitrogenesports.eu. So it's a European sports book, and that's not all. Since they don't take it, you can't like fund your account with with an American bank transfer, with US dollars because it's banned here. So what my brother does to get around it is we have Bitcoins that we've had for years, and we kind of understand Bitcoin, so we can figure it out. But for the average person, not even the average person, even like the advanced mid-tier user, working with the European sports books and transferring Bitcoins in and out,
Even Bitcoin is daunting.
exactly, it's very
It's
daunting.
daunting.
Yeah, so it's not, you can't really place these bets right now, like if you're an average person. And how that changes in the future, who's gonna figure it out? Like for example, what are those two big like top 10 sporting bets things? What do they call fantasy DraftKings? Yeah, them, and it says one other one, right? They basically circumvented the law by making it legal somehow to gamble on sports, right? So whoever can do that first with esports is gonna make a lot of money.
A lot of money.
Until they get sued.
People love gambling. All right, so. And the beauty of this is, too, you don't have to bet big amounts. And the bet slip I linked to you just now, too, I bet $12. Like, my bet's like $12, and they're these stupid bets that pay out, like, ridiculous as they win. But it's fun watching the games if you're betting $12. So I'm excited to watch League Worlds just because I'll be making a lot of stupid bets, and hopefully they can pay off.
Yeah,
It adds like so much excitement to games
Yeah.
that you normally just don't care about. Like I mean, like honestly, like who cares about like a lot of these games that you're looking at right now? Like,
Yeah.
would you care? You
None
wouldn't
at
give
all.
a shit.
Yeah,
Right?
you want to watch, like, the teams you're interested in, but this makes you want to watch everything because you're betting a little bit of money on Wall Street gambling. There you go, Quarks.
MMOs.com gambling sounds like a great way for us to cause our own
Ooh.
controversy. For us to get sued immediately after all these YouTubers that got in trouble supporting gambling sites or promoting them.
Look, I think it's fun gambling with a little bit of money. Don't gamble more than you can afford to lose. Play with a couple dollars, and it's fun. Again, you can bet like $1 on the minimum bet's like 60 cents, so you can play with like pennies.
you're forgetting
So
about
it
it.
just-
Nobody can make
yeah.
these bets. They don't have Bitcoins.
That's true. That's true. It is very difficult. But yeah, we're digressing, and I'm just excited about watching these games now that I got a couple dollars on them. Before we get too off topic, Gumby, we're gonna throw the weekly raid at you.
The weekly raid. This week we owe Reddit all the props. Thanks, Reddit, for the easy steal. But it was interesting, so we decided to bring it up. This week we're talking about AFK gameplay mechanics in games like, not like games like League of Legends 2 where it plays itself, but something like Black Desert Online, which is the example I'm going to use because I played it. Basically in the game, certain tasks like fishing and crafting, you can just walk away from your computer and the game will play it for you. So you can leave your computer, make a bologna sandwich, you come back, your whole bag is squirming with fish. And the question we're getting at is, are these systems desirable? Right, and a lot of people, they like to write it off as just, that's just what Koreans do. But there is, I think, I don't see a trend. Maybe someone else can interject and say they see this somewhere else. I believe that the main two proponents of this type of system is Arcade and Black Desert. But the thing about AFK gameplay mechanics is, number one, they normally apply to meaningless systems in the first place, which to me says why even bother having them. And then, but the other, oh man, I'm losing my track of thought here. And the other idea is that it bridges the gap between competitive players and say a player can't play as much. If I can AFK play the game, then I can make enough money to keep up with the person who plays all day. But are these desirable? Are these hurting the genre? Are they, do you not care at all? So go ahead, take the round table.
All right. First of all, I think it's straight up racist to like point this out as an
I
Asian
agree.
phenomenon. Namely, because there's a game that came out even before WoW called EVE Online, where you literally, whether you're at least in Black Desert when you're fishing, if you're actively fishing, you have a higher chance, right? Because you can play that little mini game.
Correct.
Yeah. Whereas in EVE, there's literally nothing you can do, whether you're on or offline, to speed it up. So
Well, you can buy those skills now from other players. So you earn ISK by doing missions, and you can buy the skill points from other
that's true.
players. So
For
there's some.
All right, fine. For the first 12 years,
10
or whatever,
years, yeah.
Okay. Offline and online progression were identical, right? So it's nothing new. It was popularized by the West, not the Asians. So there's the two misconceptions we can lay to rest here. And I actually prefer the way Black Desert does it, where you get something for being AFK, but you get the premium for actually doing it, right? So you catch the fish actively, you get better ones because you got to like time the little.
It's not just fishing though. Keep in mind that's only one instance. It's also horse training and crafting, which there's really no advantage. They're actually the way it's designed from the ground up is to be an AFK system largely.
Okay, then I guess my perfect world would be a base level progression AFK, and then the premium goodies for active participation.
Mm-hmm.
And they
I
say
guess-
actually,
I mean-
Rise Vicar is another example too. You can level up your mounts, I think, by being AFK too.
We gotta
So a
sit
lot
on.
of
You
games
gotta
have
like
it,
sit on your
yeah.
mounts, right? In Icarus, I think, or just go run in circles or something.
I guess I don't really see the problem. I mean, as Sean said, a lot of these are kind of extraneous. So I mean, if they're gonna give you an AFK option and people want to take part in that, that's fine. And I mean, in Black Desert, it really worked because you had the option to either spend an inordinate amount of time grinding and trying to get blackstones from random mobs, or you could fish all day and AFK and then just buy the blackstones. There was one of the guys that was like the highest gear that I ran into within the first 2 weeks was like the third top fisher on the server. I mean, he just literally sold fish and bought blackstones and upgraded. I mean, and I think that system kind of works. I mean, because it gives you the gear, but you still don't know how to PvP. And in a system like Black Desert, you still need some amount of skill to be able to land hits and stuff like that.
I think that's a great point we should emphasize, Matt, because the normal rebuttal is that these systems are terrible because they allow the person who doesn't actually participate in the game actively to stay up, to keep up with the competitive player. But you're right, to be competitive, you still have to know how to play the game. And just because it's just like if I went and bought a level 110 WoW account, having never played WoW, I'm not going to be the best player in the server even if I have the best gear. I still have to learn how to play my character and know the game.
I don't personally think it's really a good idea. I feel like having that kind of AFK system, just like it fills the world with like people that aren't really there,
Mm-hmm.
and it kind of just like it taxes graphically and like the server as well for like no reason, like for just so that people can feel like they're progressing when they're offline. I mean, I guess it depends on what the reason is for doing it, right? Like I can see some really good applications that can be made with like an AFK system. Like imagine this, for example, right? You could log out, like you don't even have to AFK. You could just log out of the game, and then your character becomes an NPC that does some kind of task, right? And other people can interact with you or whatever. Like say you become a shopkeeper, right? And then you can sell stuff, and then
Oh, I
people
like that.
can interact with your character.
yes.
Or you become a fisherman, and people can like buy stuff from you. Like that kind of thing would be, I think, kind of interesting. But just having it there so that people can just keep their computers running like for no reason, like I feel like that's trying to cover up for like some flaw in the game that can be solved in a more elegant way.
And I think
Well, that's actually going back to Black Desert again. Okay, I actually liked the way they did the whole crafting and everything because you literally would hire NPCs if you wanted to AFK craft or in something like that and have the NPCs do it for you. They'd mine stuff, they'd gather like wood, they'd go into a specific type of building that you'd pre-purchased and they would craft there. And you could see the NPCs running from destination to destination, but they weren't players; they were NPCs, and they were
Oh, I
there
see.
regardless of whether you were playing or not. And I thought that was really cool, and it really automated something that I hate. I hate crafting in MMOs. I'm going to say it, and that the reason for that is that it's just such like a dull, like mindless activity in so many games. Like there are a few that do it really well, but the majority it's just dull and mindless, and you basically just click a button over and over until you skill up a little bit in your crafting, and then you click a button over and over and you have a better chance to get this or that, and then once you've maxed it out you click it over and over until you get the perfect set of stats on your gear. And it's just I would rather automate that than do it
I mean,
myself.
that's what I mean though by it's covering up for like some other flaws that could be solved in like a better way that like kind of enhances the gameplay rather than just having
It's
your
a
character
Band-Aid to
AFK
a
or
problem that
whatever.
shouldn't
exactly
exist.
that's,
It's a
that's what
Band-Aid.
that's what I'm
Is what
saying,
she was trying to say,
pretty
I
much.
think. And I'm of the opinion that we shouldn't have any of that stuff. I mean, look, whatever happened to making a game fun so people actually want to play it? Like,
Yeah, that's what I mean.
like why is it that we did these new ways to like it's weird because there was a phase like a couple of years ago where a lot of games started introducing bots to their games already before games like League of Angels took off, for example. I mean, game like I'm gonna bring up one game that takes it to the absolute extreme. A game like Magic World Online. I did a video for this ages ago. It was a Chinese game. It's pretty funny. It was a client-based game too, because it's not the same. You know, browser games people figure they're casual. They autoplay themselves. It was a client game. You download it. It was several gigabytes long, and once you actually download and play it, there's actually a bot in the game that when you activate it, it goes hunting for you, right? In places you tell it to go. It uses potions for you when you get weak. It loots items for you. You pick what items to loot. Like if it's rare, you loot it. If it's common, you can loot it. Whatever, right? And then when your inventory gets full, it goes back to a vendor and sells all your trash loot. And then it also restocks on potions. And it goes back to your hunting ground and keeps hunting. And not only that, if you ever die, it reses. It goes to your bank, gets more money, and buys more potions, and resumes hunting. Like it literally plays the entire game for you. The only time you ever have to play is like reset hunting grounds. Like, why can't you just make the game itself fun?
Okay,
So
you
that's
have
what
to
I
play it.
mean.
no,
Like,
you two are missing the. Yeah, you guys are correct, right? The general gameplay should be fun, and
Okay.
you want to play it. But I think Black Desert brings up very interesting, elements where, let's say you're the hero in an MMORPG, or you're the strong guy. Like you're right. You're not gonna be. It's actually, I think it's more absurd to imagine a world like that where the hero of the Dragon Slayer is like crafting, linen cloth for like 10 hours. So instead, you hire, like in Black Desert, you hire workers, right?
That makes sense for workers. How about fishing? You're standing there fishing. Your hero is fishing.
Even
Exactly.
heroes like
You
the
can
fish,
hire
it's
fishers,
relaxing.
or guess what? Billionaires fish. They like fishing. What's wrong with that?
Your AFK fishing is the problem.
Well,
That's what, have you
So,
gone
like-
fishing? That's what fishing's like.
that's what
You just
fishing's
get
like
the-
IRL. You literally fall asleep until something bites, and then you
I
go,
like
what?
fishing.
Anyway.
So I mean, there are people that kind of like that gameplay though, or on like they want to be like a crafter. Like I'll give you a good example is like Mabinogi. This is like a while ago. This is not like the current, so I don't know if it's the same now. But back when I played, it was like my character in Mabinogi was like a really well-known crafter. Like it was hard to get to like top blacksmithing in that game. It was really difficult. It took like a lot of resources, a lot of time, and a lot of skill, I guess you could call it. And when I played, I would open my shop at a certain time, and people would come to my house, and I would just hammer out orders for hours, and people would pay me like
Right. No,
like
that's
a
awesome.
premium for like my work, and then you get your name, you get your signature on the weapon. So like anytime someone inspects that weapon, they can see your name on it, and that like was really amazing to me. And like I haven't seen another game that like embodies that. Like every other game, even Final Fantasy, like a lot of people say Final Fantasy's crafting is good, and I do think it's relatively good, but you don't have like that gameplay where it's like you can aspire to something. You know what I mean? Like aspire to be like that top crafter. They don't have that anymore. And I don't know if anybody has a game that they know of that does that. Like I don't know of one.
A few older games, all older games had that. Like Ultima Online would have that, where you would have a name next to the if you crafted like an exceptional item, and Star Wars Galaxy had a system where like at the high end, every item was almost unique because like how many different variables could go into like crafting it, like what resources you use, like what quality materials and stuff you use. But yeah, nothing recent is done. And again, I don't want to say I'm against crafting in general. What you were explaining is like the active premium crafting like role, right? But like I think there is a place in MMORPGs which is supposed to be these persistent living worlds where you as a powerful character, whether it's powerful in crafting or powerful in fighting, you can hire like almost like an army of NPCs, right? Like imagine like Age of Empires, right? You theoretically, I guess you're like the general, right? In Age of Empires or something, or like StarCraft.
This is an RTS now.
No, I know, but like, I don't think there's inherently anything wrong with just having NPCs work for you.
Why can't you make those players do this? What if you hire players who are dedicated miners to do it for you? The guy who levels up his mining skill, he can mine more efficiently. Get him to do it for you.
Oh, he can mine more efficiently for like the premium mithril ore. But you should have the option to hire NPCs for because like in real life, nobody wants to be the guy who mines the low tier coal.
Some people do.
No, nobody wants to be the guy at the low end of the rung. In real life, they're there because of circumstances, right? But online, everyone wants to be the hero. And it doesn't mean being the hero killing dragons. You could be the hero who climbs the mountain for that mythical ore. That's cool too.
I actually don't think that like so the two situations that you guys are presenting, I don't think that they're exclusive. Like you can have both. Like you can have a system where you can hire NPCs to mine like the lower tier stuff, like you were saying, And then if you wanted like the better stuff, you'd have to mine it yourself as a high level miner. I think that is, you can have both. You don't have to have
So
only
yeah,
one.
but I'll tell you. So would I feel like in a game to be ideal, to be better, you do need some of the, like, again, the higher end stuff to be mined by players.
No,
it can't all be automated.
I just said that.
Okay.
Where the AFK stuff,
yeah.
like the miners, the NPCs you hire, just mine like coal and iron, right? And then the player miner, okay, only he's capable through dangerous places or difficult mini games or skill, working out grinding skill to mine the mithril ore that you need for like the premium stuff.
I don't like any emphasis on automation when it comes to AFK gameplay. It just rubs me the wrong way. It feels like it just cheapens the experience overall. Like, in almost any capacity. I guess BDO wasn't that bad just because it was fishing and a few other things, and it was really not a key part of the gameplay. The real big offenders are the Chinese browser games. Those are just outright offensive.
Well, honestly, like with the method that Erhan was saying, I mean, it's the same as if you were to just buy low quality materials from a shop.
Mm-hmm.
Like in Final Fantasy has it, you can buy like the early level crafting items from a shop. You don't have to gather them yourself, and I kind of think that's kind of what Erhan's saying.
Yeah,
which is fine. I think it's exactly the same thing as buying it from a shop, except it takes a little bit of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
EVE Online though, it still rubs me the weird way. Their skill system.
I never minded EVE Online. That's funny, because the difference to me is that in EVE Online, it I don't know how to defend this one, but just to take it another way, I think, Omer, you hit a great point, which is that when you have these AFK systems, they devalue the achievement of, say, becoming a master fisherman. You know that person probably just left their computer on for a week, and so it doesn't make it as meaningful. Maybe some people just don't. And also the point is, if these little gameplay elements are so boring, if by automating them you're saying they're boring, I'm not sure if you are, then what's the point of even having them? Make them more interesting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Either get rid of them or make them fun.
Yeah.
Either get rid of them or make them fun. Don't put this band-aid of automating it to make them tolerable. And it's clearly, as you said, Alden, nobody wants to strive to be a miner, the best miner. But if you
they do. They don't want to strive to be the low-end miner. That's what I'm saying.
Nobody strives to be low-end anything. Nobody wants to be a level 1 warrior for the rest of their life.
No, exactly. So if you're a strong character in the game, you're wealthy, you're rich in like an MMORPG, right? You can't get like 100 NPCs, 100 players to just sit there and mine, iron for you. But so you're gonna hire NPCs to mine the iron, then you're gonna hire the best miner on the server to go mine the mithril. That's it.
All right. I just want less automation for a lot of things. Like, even like every game, it took automation of movement. I feel a bit too far. Like in every game now, you just click and it just takes you there. That just feels kind of cheap. I've been playing FF14 lately, so I'm glad it's not a part of FF14. Like, I still have to move around. You still have like easy teleportation, right, to all the places you've got the Aetherites, but you actually have to move to your destinations and find things a little bit. In so many Korean and Chinese games, it feels like go talk to this NPC. One click, you run there. Like Twin Saga, for example, we played that earlier. Everything just felt so automated. So many like these Korean games that feel so automated now, and I just don't want to see more automation in games.
Taiwanese.
That's my personal preference, maybe.
I feel like there's like a huge
Taiwanese.
disconnect, Omer, between like now like current game developers, like MMO developers specifically, and like their players. It just seems like there's like a huge disconnect as far as like what's fun or not, right? It's like a lot of the time, like I play these new MMOs and like I just like I can't play them because they're boring. And I end up playing just because other people are playing with me and I want to stay on top. But it's like I don't actually find any enjoyment in the actual process. And I feel like maybe this is a thing with Chinese developers or something. But it feels like they don't actually play, or like the games that they make.
I think okay, but I think generally it's wrong. If something's not fun, cut it out. Or find a more elegant way to do it, like through NPC servants, rather than make people do it just because people should be doing it. Because
I'm saying they don't know that it's fun or not. That's what I think. Yeah. I honestly, why would you do that and be like, let's make a game and let's make it not fun? Like who does that, right? Like I honestly think they don't know. They don't play games enough that they don't know.
Maybe they think the rest of the game is fun, and that secondary part can be not fun. And it'll be okay because it's there.
Think about Final Fantasy though, like. The guy who saved Final Fantasy and like I think he's like the director.
Yoshi P?
Yeah, he likes playing MMOs, and he knows like what MMO players like. That's why that game is so good, right? There's so many systems in.
Wait, what game?
FF14.
Final Fantasy. It's like it. Yeah, go ahead.
I just wanna end on the absurd. I always like to end on absurd. So, Omar, you like active fishing and stuff, right? But what is more immersion breaking in a game that's supposed to be immersive, right? MMORPG, than this? Imagine like WoW or Final Fantasy or whatever, right? You're in a dungeon. You're about to fight this boss. Everyone's getting ready. And then one guy says, then the warrior with the epic glowing sword says, oh, look, a node. 1 sec, guys. Pulls out his pickaxe. Like, that wouldn't happen in real life. Like that's so.
They would have put the epic node next to the boss. Then they'll put it somewhere else where it doesn't like take the party out of the way.
Like, imagine like an iron node. I gotta work up my skill, guys. 1 sec.
Come on, that doesn't matter.
No, I think it's stupid.
Put that there. All right. Well, I want to take this to I had a pretty good business idea yesterday, so I'm going to throw this at you guys. All right, you guys be the panel of my experts. I mean, we talked about MMO and social elements before. All right, get this. All right. You know, like there's a dating app called Coffee Meets Bagel, where you meet, like, it gives you like one person like a day, right? Listen. Hear me out. You click a button and it matches you with a random person, right? A random girl or your opposite sex or whoever you're looking for, and then you have an option of meeting them for like a date, and then you only have that one option all day. So their gimmick is like you can't just keep scrolling left like you would on Tinder. So you kind of would consider it. So we're gonna take this element and bring it to MMOs. All right, we're gonna call it warrior meets priest or something. Right? Obviously, the warrior is the man and the priest is the woman. All right, strict gender roles are defined here.
Oh my god!
And the way it works, of course, is you use your random person to give their profile, and I guess if you agree to meet them, and instead of meeting them in real life, you meet them in like random MMO. Like, in fact, we picked MMO for you, so it'll be like kind of an experience for both of you. Like, we'll pick. Okay, you two are gonna play like MapleStory together on this server.
Whoa! What is this?
You guys get to level 10, and then you get.
Is this a dating service for gamers or what?
Yeah. And you gotta leave 1 to 5 stars. All right.
It picks the game for you, right, based on your preferences.
Yeah, it picks the game for you based on your preferences, and like it finds a game that neither of you played, so it becomes like an expedition together. You know.
How you know if the girl's a girl though, right?
Oh, that's a good one.
Right? What do you do?
If they're premium, we verify it for you. Otherwise, anything goes. Oh my god! If you're not verified, anything goes.
But do you verify both sides, or do you only verify one side to save money?
No, you only verify. You only if you're a premium, it verifies the other person for you. And like I don't know how we're gonna do that, but we'll leave it to the magic, all right, in the back end. But what do you guys think? What do you guys think?
Terrible.
Whoa.
It does
all right, we got a terrible from Shio.
Terrible.
Whoa, what's the problem? What's the issue?
This makes no sense. I just don't understand where this has anything to do with gaming.
If you want to meet somebody in a game,
I am all for it.
Good. I got Gummy on board.
Okay. You're behind a computer screen. It's not like real life where you can feign the whole like I hate like talking to people thing, because people use the internet to talk to people. So just if you want to meet somebody in a game, just find a random person, go hi.
No, of course.
I mean, why not do that in real life, Matt? Huh? Why not do them in real life, Matt?
Well, I'm just saying, there's literally no excuse anymore because it's the internet.
But like honestly, like to give some credibility to Omer's thing, they have a dating thing for like anything now. I was listening to the
exactly.
radio. Literally, hear me out. I was listening to the radio.
They probably have a dating app for dogs. There's no credibility just because of the other stuff.
I was listening to the radio, and they said like paranormaldate.com for meeting up with people that are into paranormal stuff, and they said, and check out our new website, conspiracydate.com.
Conspiracydate.com. Meet your fellow InfoWars fan.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yo, they have dates for athletes. They have dates for like black people meet. They have Muslim meet. Anything meet.
I'm gonna look at paranormaldate.com right now.
Gumble just linked me 4 different dating sites for gamers. So this is not.
No,
I'm not done yet.
We're not done yet. There's more. There's 5.
There's more coming. No, mine's an app. Mine's very specific. And mine's a better. Look at this name. Gaming Passions. # site title. It's not even finished. There's nothing here.
I like this name. Ready, guys? Level Up. Instead of Level Up,
Level Up is pretty good. Wow. Level Up is pretty good, but it's a .net. It's .net.
Here we go, man. It says, paranormaldate.com, you are not alone. Find your match that shares an interest in the paranormal science, life after death, ghost stories, Bigfoot, UFOs, alternative medicine, and conspiracy theory.
It gets all the resources together. I love the fact. Look at levelup.net. It's the true gamer dating, and one of the key features is there's no profile pictures allowed, so nobody knows It's a key feature. Listen, listen. The problem with these, I never tried any of these first of all, right? But mine's gonna pick the game for you. It has a specific actionable goal, all right? And of course, the idea is to raise millions and then flip it, all right? This is not like a good idea. We want to get investors involved, get some money, and then get the fuck out.
Well, you just ruined it.
Some money.
Okay, if you
just
put
spill
it
the
that
beans.
way.
Don't tell anybody that. Shh, 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 shh. They'll never know. They're not gonna listen to this. Don't worry, we're good.
If you
Alright, on
put
my
it that
profile-
way, Omer.
Guys, the name is what sell. Look,
What was your name again? I forgot already.
Warrior meets priest.
That's retarded.
What? Paladin meets
That's pretty
priest.
bad.
That's pretty bad. Paladin means
pretty bad.
priest sounds like some kind of like
That doesn't
crusader,
even apply
like Christian,
to all the games.
hardcore
you know?
Christian thing.
That's true.
They're gonna go crusade together, actually.
Hardcore Christian dating site.
We
Only for
both-
the true warriors of Christ, okay?
all right. You guys shot down the idea. All right, it's dead. It was worth trying.
Mm-hmm.
I still
Except
think
if
a
it wasn't.
similar. I still think a similar idea without the dating element, where you just like it matches up like 5 people together to play MMO together. Like a lot of people always ask, like people an MMORPG, like let's start some MMORPGs together with like other people. I guess they don't have too many friends that are into MMOs. It just gets like 5 random people and says, okay, you guys are gonna play this game together, and like boom, you have like 5 people to play with right away.
I'm pretty sure that's what MMO.plus was supposed to be.
That was just a search engine for MMOs, though.
I
There
think
have
they
been
had a
social
thing
networks for
that.
gamers,
There's-
and they
there's
all
no-
fall apart.
It's not a social network. The only
Just
thing
saying.
is, it just groups you with 5 people and it puts you on one like in the same Discord together, and that's it. And the site is done. Like it doesn't like try making a social network. It just groups people that want to play games with other people that want to play games, specifically MMOs, because these are games you kind of want to play with other people, and it gives you like a group to play with. Because if you want to play an MMO, right, and none of your friends play, it is a little bit daunting, like to just play a game by yourself sometimes.
No,
You
I
could-
don't know. I think you
you
got to
could
start
join the
rate yourself
Amazon
and then
Discord.
find a guild. That's a tried and true method here. The problem with these apps, like or even the gaming social networks, is it's like trying to herd cats. You know, like gamers are like solitary hunters. You know, like you can't.
Herd cats.
You can't herd cats, and you can't make a social network of gamers. Those two things are like diametric.
It's not a social network. It's not a social network.
whatever social
just-
matching or whatever. It's not gonna
It
work.
just matches. It just matches you and go. All right, it's all it is.
It's called tiprubs.com.
All right, yo, this is going on Kickstarter, and we're gonna raise lots of money, and then we're gonna dip.
That's a good plan.
I like
That's
it.
the play. That's the play. All right. I'll promise all these amazing features. All right. Guaranteed. You find the love of your life, or guaranteed you find the best friends.
Well, I guess speaking of bad ideas, I'll just take this
Whoa.
one away.
Take it away.
No, you want to keep going? We're going to take it away. Well, take it away
take
to
it away.
Digital Homicide's bad idea about suing people who left negative reviews on their site. And they have now dropped the case without prejudice, or the judge dropped the case without prejudice, which means they can bring it up again. Digital Homicide, the company is disbanding. The guy who owns it, he has to go find another job. And I guess nothing else is going to become of it. We could see it reemerge in the future, but I know everyone here, or some of us here, have some passionate things to say. I'll give my 2 cents. I think we've talked about this a lot last week, so maybe we shouldn't harp on it. I just think they just didn't know what they were doing, that they really believe what they did. But go ahead and prove me wrong.
I think they've changed their story too many times to not know what they're doing.
All right, I think I'm gonna edit this news article right now, and after Digital Homicide, I'm just gonna put it in brackets suicide. So it's actually digital suicide now, because they quite literally led themselves to death by following this policy of suing Steam users who were leaving negative reviews.
Has anyone played a Digital Homicide game? Matt, I think you have, right?
Yes, and as I've said before, it was literally the worst thing I've ever played. Let me go find a video, okay? But I will describe it after I find the video.
Please.
All right,
It's-
while I was looking for that, the naval marshal of the Imperial Japanese Navy, okay, General
What?
Isoroku Yamamoto, after the attack on Pearl Harbor, he said, quote, "I fear all we have done is awaken a sleeping giant and fill him with a terrible resolve." Okay? This guy, this Digital Homicide guy should have read that quote before he decided to sue random people on the internet. He literally poked a sleeping giant that is the collective internet, okay? And they probably rained down on him like with a vengeance.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I just linked a random video, okay, of the slaughtering grounds. And basically, in this game, you run around, you shoot things, and regardless of where, how, or when you shoot them, they will explode into a bloody mess in which all their limbs fall off, and blood spurts out of each and every limb, like where it used to be. And it was so bad. It was such a bad game that when you went to the online mode, literally the only thing that worked was chat. Enemies did not sync up. You could not see or even interact with the other player. Like, it's not like they were just invisible. You couldn't. They weren't there. They didn't exist. It was a single player game with a chat room advertising itself as a multiplayer game. It was ridiculous. And basically all you do is run around and shoot things that explode into fountains of blood. And that's it. I mean, it literally, like, one shot per kill. There was no skill involved with it. And it looks like this. Need I say more?
It's quite garbage. Yo, is that interface designed in 1995? Look at that interface in the bottom. It looks so bad.
I don't know.
I don't know. This guy clearly had no business making games, and honestly, if you're gonna put up your products on the internet, like, you need thick skin. Again, the crux of the argument that he made, the Digital Homicide guys made for the lawsuits, is that they were threatening him. People were saying, like, they put a link saying, like, whoever made this deserves to die. Like, or like, I wish I could murder everyone involved in this. And they linked the gameplay. But, like, again, this is the internet, all right? When somebody says shit like that, it's within the context of the internet, okay? They're not actually going to kill you, right? It's very clear what they meant. And if you don't know that, you have no business putting your shit online. Get off the internet if you can handle it.
No, but when they announced that they were canceling the lawsuits, they turned around and said, "Oh, but we sued these people and we were doing all this because they were attacking our users, not us."
Okay.
And that's
okay.
that's why I don't think
users?
that Sean's theory holds up. He just turned around and said that.
I really am convinced that most bad decisions are a result of really dumb people. I don't think people are as nefarious as we like to make them out. I think these are just really dumb. I mean, look at this game. This is somebody who has no idea what they're doing. And I also want to point out Steam Greenlight. You're just as stupid. Either that, or it's just Steam Greenlight. I think we've discussed this. It's full of trolls, and we do live in a troll culture where people will vote for Donald Trump because they think it's funny, or they'll vote for the slaughtering grounds because they think it's funny, and that's great and fine. But then this is what happens. This is the type of shit you end up with on Steam.
And then I also want to throw it out there. Okay, so in one of their quotes, they painted themselves as if they were, or at least the James Romian guy, painted himself as if he was the victim of a broken system in which all these other publishers get to be verified on Steam and put out whatever crap they want, but they have to go through Greenlight for every one of their games. And I'm sitting there like, you're not the victim of a broken system. You took advantage of a broken system. If it were working, none of your games would have been on Steam, you idiots. Like,
It's true.
His quote is that the company has been destroyed because of this. So God bless that his company is dead. This game, the guy's a retard for trying to sue everyone from leaving these negative reviews and such. Clearly, he's got no business working in gaming, and I hope he finds a job somewhere else where he's better suited.
Doesn't have business on the internet at all.
Yeah, right? He was offended by people saying stuff like, anyone involved in this should be murdered. Like, do you not know internet culture? Like, what are you? Like, how do you make games and not realize this?
Especially in gaming. I think gaming it's the most visceral. I'd say. I mean, people do complain about cyberbullying and shit, and I don't know. I don't want to comment on that, but
I mean, KYS is a very common thing to say at the end of a game. So
gets you banned in a week now.
Yeah, that brings up a great topic. We had a discussion point this week for the pussification of online gaming.
Matt's favorite word.
I feel like
Pussification.
all right, so I'll run down the gist of it. We've seen games get more and more strict. The most recent example I've had with the pussification of online gaming is when I played FF14 with Shu, and I think Witchy was there as well, a couple of my friends. And I said, like, yo, your damage, like, to my party member, like, yo, pick it up, your damage sucks, right? Like, I'm totally wrecking you in damage. Like, obviously, I didn't even have a damage chart, right? I just said that, and they're both telling me, shh, you can't say that. Stop, you can't say that. I'm like, what the fuck? Why can't I say your damage sucks? Like, oh, you'll get banned. So apparently, you can get banned for pointing out that your teammate, your party members have shitty damage. And
No, that's not it. You misunderstand. You can get banned for having a damage meter, and that's how they tell that you have a damage. Because there's no way to check. There's no way to tell if someone has a damage meter. So if you're like, oh, I checked your damage and it sucks, then they know that you have a damage meter because that's the only way to tell, right?
But I could just be saying that.
Yeah, I mean, if
And
you're
it's
just
a
saying
ban?
that, then that's fine. But like, you can't be like, I have a damage meter and you suck. Like, you
won't word it like that.
What is the concern with damage meter? Is it because they want any third-party apps or any like?
It's like it exists in a weird space. There's no clear definition as to whether or not you can have damage meters or not. So they kind of abuse that. that lack of a rule, and sometimes they ban people for using them, but there's possibly an ulterior motive, which is to stop what they would consider griefing. I think that's the idea. And apparently criticizing another player is considered griefing. I think that's what Omer is trying to get at, right?
Yeah, ultimately, I think a lot of games have gone the way of where like certain things aren't allowed. Even in League, people have said they got banned for saying like GG easy at the end of a game. It's been a controversy in League for a long time, what you can and cannot say. And if you get repeatedly reported for saying stuff like GG easy, you can get banned because they do use an algorithmic system where if you get reported, you will get banned for it.
For what? For GG easy?
Yeah.
In what game?
The way Overwatch handled it was the best.
GG easy.
In what
That's
game?
amazing.
What game bans you for that?
League of Legends.
No way.
But again,
Why would they do that?
I don't think they're actively banning you. It's because they had the tribunal system before, and then now they have an algorithmic system. So if enough people start reporting you for saying GG easy, you're gonna get banned.
It's stupid because you can get banned for like no reason. Like honestly.
All right.
Remember when I only played Ana? Omer, remember when I only played Ana and then like people got really mad at me and I got banned for it because they just all reported me like all the time.
And even like yeah. The bar for like trash talking. I feel like trash talking and being mean on video games is like the era's over. Like I feel like too many games are enforcing policies of you have to be a nice person all the time.
Yeah,
well,
and that's very unfortunate.
The question though, does curbing what you can say are these policies actually making people less toxic, or are they just channeling that toxicity somewhere else? Because my feeling is, I imagine it's going somewhere else. You're not like stomp. It's not like now the person's not toxic. If they get banned or they take it out just somewhere outside the game. Right? Like, you're not going to change someone's personality or how they behave. Maybe in your own game, I guess.
And I don't think that they're doing any kind of service to their user base. Like people who play League, I want to say a lot of them. Okay, not everyone, right? A lot of them play a lot. Like they kind of stay home, on the weekend. They play their hobby, their main, off work, off school hobby is the game, right? So you're not doing them a service by making them. See, the thing is when you deal with trash talkers, leavers, spammers, AFK, all this stuff, you learn to deal with people in general, right? Because in the real world, right? Let's say you work in an office or whatever, you're gonna deal with the loudmouth, the gossiper, the
Barbara
idiot.
Who doesn't shut up.
Yeah, the idiot, So, but by what kind of whitewashing, your interactions online, which for a lot of people is their main interaction with humans, right? You're not going to learn these subtle skills to deal with troublesome human beings in the real world. So I think League of Legends, especially now, is creating a user base, especially young people, who don't know how to deal with real people in the real world because they're not getting exposed to these kind of, harassment, cursing, slap shit talking, whatever it is.
And it's not just League. Go ahead.
I think you're placing the responsibility on the wrong people. I mean, you're saying that it's their responsibility almost to make sure that these people and their interactions are exactly like real life at all times and that they learn these skills somehow. It's not the game company's responsibility. But I think just the fact that you said being mean is one of the things that's being curbed.
Profanity will get you banned in almost any MMORPG today.
You said being mean was what's being curbed, and I think it's kind of telling that if you can describe it that way, we probably don't need it.
But there's nothing wrong with being mean online. It's a part of the atmosphere. It's part of the culture almost.
But see,
if I want to tell somebody they suck,
and
they should.
It doesn't have to be though.
But here's the thing: it always will be, right? Because I think Erhan nailed it. Humanity is fucking mean. People you come across will be assholes, and I think what happens is it's basically putting a mask in certain spheres of life the way we engage with people, and it's non-reflective, and I think it creates a false sense of reality. Like we think everyone should be nice all the time. That's just not how it is, and I don't think it's the responsibility of developers to create an atmosphere that's more reflective of the way things are day to day. But I also don't think it's their responsibility to curb what people say. They're just words. They're just sounds and symbols that you can write with a keyboard. They don't mean anything unless you internalize it. I mean, you have to develop a tough skin to survive in life. I mean, that's part of life. And if you don't have a tough skin to survive, then you gotta wake up because it's not middle school anymore. Actually, the middle school is when you
I guess my point is it's kind of their choice to make the environment that they want to make.
It is. I do think it's a negative choice. It is their game. They totally have all the rules, but I don't think it's going to be a net positive.
All right. And so, guys, ban or not ban? All right. You guys are GMs. Hypothetical scenario. Pure Cat just said I got suspended at FF14 because I was running around as a white mage, saying I don't trust black mages and white power.
I say no.
Yeah,
I say not ban. Let him go.
Let him go.
Ban. No,
Alright,
no ban.
No ban.
That's great.
He's keeping it in context. White mages.
Yes.
In fact, if anything, we should all sue Final Fantasy, Square Enix, for having white mages and black mages. Why does a white mage have to be the healer and happy, while the black mage is evil and death?
Come on.
Okay, he should be blue mage and green mage if they don't like.
You're taking this too far now.
No, the point is, okay, ultimately, like, the key is people say they get offended. Okay, keep on. In any MMORPG, if you're being offensive, which is what I was saying, being mean, using curse words, if anybody feels offended, they can report you and you will get banned. It's against the terms of service to do that kind of stuff. And people do get banned in games for saying mean things in guild chat and stuff. People say they've witnessed people getting banned in WoW and guild chat for saying curse words and offending people. Ultimately, games give you the option of right-click, ignore.
Muting.
Every game.
Just mute them.
Like, how can you be offended? You right-click, you mute, you'll never hear from them again. It's as if they're permanently banned in your eyes.
Yeah. And I think
it makes no sense.
In the end,
It's not enough. Honestly, it's because people that get shit talked are really vindictive. That's why, honestly.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do. It has nothing to do with like, oh, my feelings are hurt. I don't want to get shit talked anymore. It has everything to do with like, that guy shit talked me. Fuck that guy. I want him to be destroyed. Yes. You know what I mean? It's vindictive. It has nothing to do with not getting your feelings hurt. Honestly.
I know people like that. I actually know 2 people who just got permanently banned from League of Legends again.
Who?
I'm not gonna.
I know one of them.
You know one, and then you know the other. But the thing is, sure, you're right. They're vindictive. Actually, someone says something to them like, "Yo, dude, pick up the slack," and they get offended, highly offended, and then they try and get the other person banned. I mean, that's another level. There is casual shit talk. It's just
that's what happens a lot, honestly.
Yep.
And I think it's one of the things too. Like this kind of emotion or whatever you want to call it is never disappeared. If you ban me or you prevent me from like trash talking, and someone pisses me off in a game, right? If I can't trash talk him, it's not like the bad feeling goes away. Instead, I bottle it up, and then I go on the forums, or like I try to find out, like something about their like profile. I try to hurt them a different way in the online. Whereas if you just let me call him a FGT, it's over. Like I can just move on. But because I can't call him an FGT, I had to figure some other way to like get back at him.
You end up calling your mother a faggot, and then you get grounded, and then it's just a downward spiral.
All right. But guys, I want to say this pussification isn't limited to just like this chat. For example, I think a lot of games have policies today where if you scam people in the game, you get banned because scamming is apparently not allowed. But I don't like that either because it's if you can use any mechanics in the game to your advantage, it should be free game in my opinion. Which is why I want to give credit to stuff like Archage. They actually specifically mentioned that skullduggery, scheming, and anything is free game. If you can rip somebody off through the game's mechanics, you're fine. You can do it. It's a part of the game. Yeah. But in games like WoW, if you scam somebody and they report you, you'll get banned. They'll get the items back. You're not allowed to scam people in WoW. It's just against the rules, and you'll get banned for it. They're trying to create an atmosphere, a safe space. Their games are becoming safe spaces.
Definitely. Honestly, like in a perfect world, yes, like you shouldn't scam people, but like in like the world that we live in, like you honestly should get scammed. You should get scammed once. Like everyone should get scammed once, and then if you get scammed again, then it's your fault.
Well, that's
I don't get the logic.
That's my point.
Like I got scammed once, and I learned from it. Like I got scammed in a game once, and like I never got scammed again after that one time I got scammed.
Me too.
So it's an experience that you're just gonna get scammed, and then you learn from it. And you become a better you can make it better from it.
And I think the better part extends not just to the game you're playing, but in life. Like I was trying to say earlier, I got scammed in Ultima Online, in Diablo 2 and stuff. And I honestly think it saved me a lot of money in the real world, right? The lessons I learned from those online games, whether it's dealing with people, swearing at me, cursing me, threatening me, scamming me. These are lessons I learned about how to deal with humans in the real world. So it's a shame that, people playing today's games, aren't experiencing that. They're not getting the full immersion either, right? You can't really be immersed in a virtual world unless you see the the douchebag
Bad sides
asshole.
too,
Yeah, exactly. You need these in the real world. There's thieves, there's con men, there's profane people, pissing in the corner. You got to deal with these people, and by dealing with them, you're more invested in that world.
Yep.
It's funny how we try and repress humanity, whether it's
Yeah.
sexuality or violence or anger. We're trying to make us into perfect little angels, aren't we?
But what is the logic behind preventing scams? For example, you're perfectly allowed to camp somebody in a PvP server in WoW, right? You can just keep wasting your time to harass them and grief them, right? That's allowed, right? But why is scamming not allowed then? So it goes like, what is the logic behind that? Well, you can bother them and make their gameplay unpleasant in one way, but another way you can't. So as soon as you start picking and choosing what negative things are allowed, it kind of it just seems stupid.
I don't know. I think it really it's not the main thing maybe, but it really contributes to the fact that so many games today do feel hollow, right? They feel distant, where you just like you don't feel invested because they don't feel real because of these limitations.
Not even hollow. You feel like if you feel like you're 6 and your parent is watching every little thing you do, and as soon as you go to touch the hot stove, they yell at you. Your freedom is almost limited. If I can't say you need to eat shit, then I'm not free. I am not fully free, and freedom is the only thing we got. So let me be free. Let me scam you.
Yeah. So wait a second, guys. While we're talking about scamming, we gotta bring up No Man's Sky. All right, so we just brought.
Oh yeah,
we gotta bring up No Man's Sky.
Oh man,
If
I
we're
want to
talking
know about
scamming-
this.
Yeah,
Good transition.
Yeah, it's a great transition. It's a natural transition, boys.
I'm out of the loop on this one, so please educate me.
All right, who wants? Gumby, you can take it, or Matt. One of you guys can take it.
Well, Matt's played it, right? So you can defend it, I guess, a little.
Well, it's basically as far as No Man's Sky has rated as a pending lawsuit. Correct me if I'm wrong. I didn't actually
No,
read-
it's not a pending lawsuit. What it is, it was an investigation
Okay.
by the UK Advertising Authority. So it's an industry group that is actually investigating the developers behind No Man's Sky for false advertising. So now it's more official.
Got the big dicks on it, huh?
Unfortunately, it's not an agency with any real power. They can issue like reprimands, but they don't have to list them because they have no actual authority. But it is an industry group, and they have some sway in the entire advertising market because it's all the big companies in UK, I guess, because it's a UK agency, and they are investigating them for false advertising. If it comes out that they deem them, they did all this wrong shit, it should be a huge mark against them.
Do you want to bring up the Steam charts for No Man's Sky? Just since we're here, No
Someone
Man's Sky,
like
I think is what I'm getting it right now. It's one of the biggest hyped flops, I would say. And I've heard the game isn't that bad. I don't know if Matt, you want to. I heard it's actually not bad. I think it was just like the expectation versus reality that made it so much worse. And again, this comes back to advertising, right? Mm-hmm. So right now, there's about 1,000 people playing as of an hour ago. This is a game that started at 36,000 with a peak of 212,000 players, and now you're at 1,000. Only, I guess, 2 months, maybe a month and a half after the game released.
Let me also give a quick overview of the game because I think Shu missed some of the drama on this one. It was pretty huge drama, so I'll keep it very brief. Basically, No Man's Sky was a game that's supposed to be like this sandbox game. Think like, I guess, Rust or any basic survival game, right? But it's set in a giant galaxy. There's they say there's millions of planets, millions of stars. The universe is so big, right? Trillions and trillions of stars and planets, right? But it's it's a sandbox game. You can go to different planets, explore the universe, right? And they said it was multiplayer, right? It was a multiplayer game. And then, but they said, oh, the world is so big, you probably won't find anybody, right? But it's multiplayer. So when the game came out, 2 streamers, they spent a lot of time trying to find the exact same planet, and they both met there, right? The same planet at the same time in the same place. They weren't actually there. It wasn't actually multiplayer. They kept saying it was multiplayer and it exists within this huge universe, but there was no multiplayer.
Did they have a sticker that they put over the?
Yeah.
They literally put a sticker over the back of the case, saying it was it wasn't multiplayer anymore. Okay, which is pretty hilarious.
We actually covered this game. I think it was first revealed a couple of years ago at one of those E3s or something, and we I think we showed the trailer on one of our first episodes of the podcast, and even back then I was like, oh, this is pretty cool, and then somebody told me, I think it was Gumble here. Oh, it's gonna be for console, PS4, right, as well. And I knew at that point, for me, the hype died because I knew there was no way to deliver what they said they were gonna deliver or tease they were gonna deliver if it was a console game. Impossible, and I was right.
Good for you. That's a good way to judge everything you do. Is it on console?
Yeah. I think
No,
it
I
is.
do think it does curb ambition. If you make your game console compatible as well, there are additional restrictions you have to keep in mind. You cannot design that all-encompassing massive experience if you're also having console and PC at the same time. And it seems to have panned out in every case.
Yep.
Do you know what sucks about No Man's Sky? And I don't. I think we brought this up in the podcast, or it might have been outside the podcast. Is that since it was an indie project and it's gotten all this negative press, that it's hurt other indie projects. I've seen a lot of negative comments for Dual Universe, which to me looks completely different than No Man's Sky, besides the science fiction aspect. And I just people going, "Oh, it looks like another No Man's Sky, big scam," and they just dismiss it. And it's unfortunate that one disappointment kind of ruins it for everyone else. It only takes one to kind of hurt everyone.
Oh, but you guys wanted a description of the game. So basically, it's got a great art style, so it's pleasant to look at. It's kind of like survival games. Like it's got the basic survival game gameplay, except you kind of like encounter creatures and start like a Pokédex of like different strains of animal and stuff like that. And over the course of your travels, you work towards the center of the universe. And basically, it's just one of those games that you sit down, you like have a beer in one hand and a controller in the other, and you just relax and go through the universe repeatedly, going from planet to planet and just doing like simple crap.
Sounds like shit.
No, but the problem is they didn't deliver on everything they said. It was the big issue. I mean, look at all these Steam reviews. They're saying everything that Sean Murray said would come in the game, but they weren't. Multiplayer, factions weren't, customization, crafting systems, landing on asteroids, having fleets appear out of nowhere, destroying the fleets, space stations, all the stuff that was promised. Honestly, if it was an MMO the way it was promised, I think it'd be awesome. But it just doesn't have any of that stuff.
All right, guys. All right. Here's why I get the big bucks. Ready? Connection time. The reason why scams like this and Kickstarter scams, right? Like Star Citizen, Star the Avatar, whatever.
Whoa, it's not fair to say. All right, continue.
All right.
Go ahead.
The reason they can flourish and make so much money off idiots is because gaming doesn't allow trash talking and scamming today. If you could scam people in WoW, these games wouldn't make all this money because the people would be cautious and be like, okay,
I like the
conceit.
Their guard has been lowered because they don't have to. They're like little dodos. They don't know that humans are dangerous, so they walk up to the humans and they get shot in the face. Boom, dead.
Okay, silver bullet.
Also-
You're a silver bullet. You're assuming that all gamers only interact through the internet.
Yes, I am assuming that, and I think I am assuming
That
that.
is a
Yes,
very
yes, I
responsible
am. I am
assumption.
definitely assuming that.
I feel that's a fair assumption.
Yeah.
Super irresponsible assumption, especially with how large the gaming market is today when you include mobile and consoles and all that. And like the average console gamer isn't like as hardcore about it as we are, for example. And I mean, it's a really irresponsible assumption.
Mobile gamers are
But-
not funding these Kickstarter scams.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, look, do you think console gamers would support like a Kickstarter? Because I don't see the cross section.
Yeah.
Well, Kickstarter's a crapshoot. That's literally a crapshoot.
The guys who funded those Kickstarter scams, had they been scammed when they were in high school playing World of Warcraft,
Or
okay?
RuneScape. Oh, well, RuneScape you could have.
No,
Rose
the
Online, that's
RuneScape
right.
players are
Yeah.
saved. No
Yeah,
hardcore RuneScape players are funding these games.
That's true. You're right. Yeah, that's fair.
It's
fair.
the WoW Care Bears. Okay, they're all like, I guess they're gonna give me everything I want. Better give them all my money.
But what's remarkable is like you don't think people are gullible. I remember like when we were playing EverQuest forever ago, right? My cousin, a family friend, told me like he was scamming people in the game. Like, how are you scamming them? Like, what do you do to get them like to give you stuff, right? He's like, he plays a female character and he says, "Yo, that armor looks really cool. I want to see what it looks like on me, on my character." And they just hand it to them, and then you just log off. You just stole their armor because they're retarded, and you just said, "I want to see what it looks like on me." I'm like, "There's no way that works." And he pulls it off, and I'm like, "Holy shit, people are so dumb." But from that moment on, those people that fall for that are going to realize that don't trust people. All right, be cautious. It's remarkable how that can actually work, though. But it does. People assume, if you never grew up in these online games where anything goes, you assume you can't lie on the internet. People wouldn't do that.
I think not only that, like in games like World of Warcraft, don't they give you your items back too?
Yeah.
It's like you just assume that you just like do over,
You just do it for everything, yeah.
And Matt, especially in our niche, like these online, multiplayer MMORPG kind of games, I would venture to say that the internet is the vast majority of players in human interaction. I know when I was in middle school, even high school, besides sleeping, eating, and being at school, gaming, online gaming was it. There was nothing else. There was no ice rink. There was no skating around town. There was no party. Like there was no like social. There was no bowling. It was go on whatever. Go on Vent. Whatever. Go on Skype and talk to people while playing.
It was AOL Instant Messenger back then when you're outside.
Whatever. There was nothing else. Like, that was my social life. There was no other social life. There was no other social interaction. So and I think that's the case for a lot of people today that play these games.
All right, you guys brought up Kickstarter again. I want to bring up one of the shittiest Kickstarter pages I've seen in a long time.
Oh please.
E.K. Bello, the Demon Slayer Christian MMORPG.
Wait, what?
The internet's first Christian MMORPG adventure game.
Links?
That's not true though. There was that other one.
Visions.
They raised $3,400 from 10 people. I don't know.
Or Visionary.
First of all, click on that video. It just click here for video presentation.
There's no video.
It's just yeah, but scroll down. There's another video on the bottom. He did not put the video up there because he's retarded. But it's just one asshole just talking in a suit. And look at that word art at the beginning. Look at the flip. Look at the text fly at the beginning. It's
10-4.
Oh, I got there's the video. Uh-oh.
Look at the text.
No! This isn't real.
Okay, it's basically this asshole talking for 7 minutes. It's literally like nothing. If you scroll down, look at his presentation, and he's got these disgusting like word art, this 3D word art, and it's like the armor of God. There's like, what is this?
No, this could be you. This like this oval face egg for a face knight. It's
and look at the actual gameplay. There. Look at the actual gameplay. Just scroll down. No, these are Christian. No, these are like there's no actual gameplay.
Maybe those are previous games. Yeah.
Those are other successful Christian games, apparently.
From 1997, right?
Risk and challenges. God may not want me to make this game. Otherwise, it will come out.
No, honestly, it's impressive that like the video presentation. It really looks like he got like a special filter for like a 1997 filter to make it look like unbelievably old and awful. Like, how does this happen?
I don't think this is real. I think this guy scammed whoever he got the money from.
Yeah,
That's part of the song at the end. Did you see that?
Yeah, the song at the end.
Yo, guys, he lives in Las Vegas. He lives in our town.
Yo, let's meet up with him, all right?
Yo, he's out gambling with the
Interview him for MMOs.com. Do it, Omer.
Oh
I gotta do this. This is a very ambitious title, all right? This is Ekbalo, the Demon Slayer.
All right, read the pledge 250 or more. This is definitely a faker. All of the above rewards plus actual full armor of God Knight figurine with yours or loved one's 3D face and head image on actual figurine. Follow Apostle Paul's teaching in Ephesians.
Oh, this game should already be out. This game no, look, if you look at the risks and challenges, it says once funded, our national team of Christian programmers will work on completing the game by December 20th. It should have been out by December 2013. So they clearly ran away with the money. I mean, let me Google the name of the game.
That's not very Christian of them.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's nowhere. Yeah, no, it's nothing. It doesn't exist.
Nice.
So yeah, the game you just gave this scumbag some money. Good stuff.
Wait, there's a website. It's called mybiblegames.com. I found the Facebook.
Look at their let me look at that too. I like their updates page. Project launched, successfully raised $3,500, and then nothing else. That's it. The project ends there.
Please look at this website.
Let's take a look at this Facebook page.
Wow, this
is worse than any Final Fantasy website.
Oh, their last post was, of course, asking for money, and once there's literally been nothing since they asked for more money. Oh God.
Raise a great point. Isn't casting spells witchcraft?
I know, right?
Oh my God, this is
They
so
had
bad.
Super Moses Brothers, side-scroller clone of Super Mario Brothers, where you play as Moses and Aaron and learn the Ten Commandments.
God. What are these people thinking?
They're thinking, boy, we can
link- oh,
sure
there you
scam some Christians.
Their mission statement starts with 2 biblical quotes. I guess it's a part where Jesus tells you to play video games.
But yeah, there's a lot of Duke Kickstarter games. Maybe we'll point out one a week. The shitty Kickstarter of the week, perhaps.
Perhaps.
Budget.
I'm-
You like
I'm
how all
sure-
of them say budget? So funny. Like budget ran out on hold. Budget ran out on hold. Budget ran out on hold.
That's a quality Christian game.
So all games on the site are free. Does that mean they have any games?
All right, time to talk about a real studio. All right.
All right, bring
who's
it
got
up.
the link? Someone give me a link. Amazon. We talked about it last week.
This is a big one.
Yeah, apparently they were working on an MMO, or so we speculated, and we still don't have any real information. But at least they said they used the term.
We got some real information. We got real information.
Quite a bit.
All right, let's see it.
There's 3 games.
Well, 3 games. One specifically, it's a massively multiplayer was like the term, right?
Open-ended sandbox game. Massive multiplayer, open-ended sandbox game.
New
I
World.
like how you guys are fixated on that one. They're also making a battle royale game.
Yeah, we should focus on the one with
and a
gameplay.
sports brawler.
The sports brawler one is aimed for Twitch, right? Basically, Breakaway.
Sort of.
Yeah, it's
no,
got streaming
I
in
think
mind.
it's just. I think it's got streaming in mind, but it's not going to be like oriented towards only streamers.
Well, yeah, no, that's true.
It looks interesting. It looks like another for some reason I don't know why. Maybe I may have Battle right in my mind. Like when I first saw the gameplay for Breakaway, like the art style gave me a Battle right vibe for some reason. But obviously it's something completely different.
Yeah. I would have preferred if they had any footage from the player perspective, because I mean this spectator mode is nice and all, but like I want to know what view the players get. Like, is it first person? Is it third person? Is it top down for them? Like, what's going on?
Does this remind you guys of touchdown mode in S4 League, where you have to bring the because of the ball? Yo, S4 League was ahead of its time, boys. I'm calling it. This is some S4 League-esque gameplay over here with the ball.
I like the thing where you can place like defenses and stuff that are static and actually affects gameplay.
I think Amazon is going to do a really good job here. Amazon is one of those companies that's so like competent compared to so many other
big companies.
Yeah, big companies. Like the Twitch buy was genius, right?
Oh my God, Twitch for $1 billion was like seems like an unbelievably good deal. Like Twitch is huge. I can't believe Google didn't buy that, or some other big company didn't buy it. And I'm surprised they only got $1 billion. I mean, Amazon knows their shit.
The only misstep they made is they bought a chat client, right? Curse. Ideally, they should have bought Discord, but maybe Discord wasn't for sale. Who knows the details? And now they're building the game ecosystem around it, right? So they're gonna own like the whole, they're gonna have a slice of each pie in that industry.
Guys, I'm calling it. Amazon's gonna buy Steam.
I mean, they're both.
No.
They're very close to each other. Amazon's in Seattle, and
They're both in Seattle, right?
Well, they're in the town
No,
right
Steam's
over
in-
Bellevue.
I think that Valve's price for Steam would be way too high. I think that's the problem.
Nothing is too high for Amazon.
Nothing is too. Amazon is one of the biggest companies in the world. Nothing is off limits.
Bezos don't give a fuck.
Bezos is building rockets and blasting them around.
Yeah, and doing it successfully.
And he's
All right,
doing
for the
it.
record, yeah.
He doesn't even need the publicity. He's not even advertising it the way Musk is.
Nope.
He's just doing it.
It must
Amazon's worth
doesn't it?
today $395 billion. That makes them one of the biggest companies in the world. I'm sure Steam is valuable too, but like realistically speaking, Steam is probably worth like what, like 5-10 billion?
Who knows?
Not
I'm
something
throwing that
for
out
me
there.
to
There was a time I think when EA tried buying Valve like forever ago. And according to a report in 2012, Valve was worth $3 billion back then. And who knows? Because it's a private company, it's hard to figure out. It's almost always self-funded, so it's too hard to know. But there were estimates in 2012 saying it was worth $2.5 billion. For a company like Amazon that's worth $395, they can do anything.
Yeah, it's at least tenfold from there, but still, it's still affordable.
I find it interesting too that these 3 games, each one is pretty much trying to fill, its own little niche. You've got the Team Arena Brawler, which we just saw. That's what I'm going to call it a tab. Then you've got some type of battle royale game called Crucible, which we haven't seen any footage from. And then there's I believe it's a 17th century survival game with witchcraft called New World, which you don't even really see any footage from either. But it's like they toss the dice and they decide, let's try these 3 genres and we'll see what we do well with. So they are using let's just say this and then I'm done. They are using their own engine. It's a proprietary engine built off CryEngine called Lumberyard. So I bet we see that licensed out. Go ahead, Matt.
My browser broke. Anyways, I was gonna say New World is a concept that I am not particularly excited about, and it's because it sounds a lot like a survival game, but made for streaming. And to me, that sounds like, okay, so like H1Z1, you know how they had like the crate drops and stuff? It sounds to me like streams are going to like affect the crate drops or something. And it's just going to be basically a survival game. But I wanted to mention something that I thought was hilarious. I saw on a Reddit post about the game that there are some non-American users that think that the game is oriented towards American users because it's 17th century North America, and they will not buy the game because they think that it's
come
made for
on.
Americans.
Just a few like retards are gonna come on.
So four assholes decided to boycott the game, and they were forgotten except for the butt of this joke.
No, I just thought it was hilarious.
No, I can't believe people think like that. It's ridiculous.
Yo,
I'm sitting there like, okay, so all of the Three Kingdoms games out there are only for Chinese people, right?
Dynasty Warriors, come on! Everyone loves Dynasty Warriors.
I love Dynasty
I mean,
Warriors.
there's a few people like that probably, but you always get stuff like that. Like, oh, the girls are wearing skimpy outfits, so I'm not gonna, it's.
This is the male sexual fantasy.
But Matt, you hit on a point that I think Amazon will push, and I think it open a whole new like layer in gaming, which is the Twitch participation. Where like imagine like the Hunger Games, right? Where you have some kind of survival arena, but the spectators on Twitch can affect the gameplay. They can affect the shape of the world. Like they can vote on the hazard that happens, or they can vote on which player.
That'd be so cool.
Like,
Actually,
let's say someone's losing
Now,
and they have low
see-
health. They can drop health on them, right? The players can drop health.
Funny
for
that
them.
you mentioned all that, Aaron, because we actually showed that off while you two weren't here. Matt and I played Streamline, which is exactly what you're suggesting.
Really?
really.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean that's cool, okay, but like put that in the context of an MMO. How much could they possibly let them modify without it being kind of annoying or game breaking?
That's true. We have to see where.
I thought Streamline. You don't think Streamline? I thought that did a good job. Did you not like that? Matt?
No, I'm saying that's fine for like Streamline and for like the Battle Royale game and for Breakaway, but in the context of an MMO.
No, but what about like stuff like weather or stuff that's like, going to happen anyway? Like, these RNG elements are going to happen anyway. Maybe let players.
Yeah, but a lot of people are going to say that's superficial and just tacked on.
I feel
What
like it'd be kind of
about
cool.
what about something like as players go through a dungeon, the viewers somehow vote on what mobs spawn, which boss spawns, like what abilities a boss will have. I think there may be interesting ways you can go
We're
about it.
theory crafting
That's
right now, too.
assuming
Keep
they're
that
a
in mind.
dungeon, but the problem with that is, okay, so you'd be instanced out ideally because, I mean, you're streaming, you know what I mean? If you want your audience to affect you, ideally you'd be instanced out with your audience, and that would rely on you having a big enough audience, just like Streamline does.
Yeah, but I think streaming is here to stay, and I think you can either participate in someone else's. I mean, look, it has to be viable without the streamers too. But if it's an added bonus that you can somehow be, because a streamer is basically its own community, right?
Mhm.
So anything, if you either join a part of the community or you can make your own, I think it would be interesting. But as long as it's not dependent on it, right?
Yeah.
As long as it's like just an
Well,
add-on.
yeah,
to the
but
thing.
the thing is that like I said, it's really going to be, if you have a feature like that, the voting process is going to be dependent on having a lot of users that really push the stats in a like really representative way for your community, like not just having like 2 or 3 people voting on things and getting their way because they're only 2 or 3 people.
Well, I will say this: just if anyone could pull it off, it'll be Amazon. So
Yeah.
if that's what they're going to do, I hope it's successful and that they can figure out a way around any of the little game-breaking elements.
Because go ahead.
I don't see a problem with slight imbalance either, because like imagine like the Roman gladiators, right? I'm sure like the crowd favorite was like given nicer weapons and armor, right? Like, because
People threw shit at the guys they didn't like.
yeah, you're cheering. Like the point again. Remember, gaming is entertainment, right? So if we, the common gamer, the common user, if our role is watching like pros play, right? Who cares if within them if there's balance or not?
I'm not saying balance. I'm saying for it to really be interesting, you have to have
meaningful
enough people.
voting,
Yeah.
and meaningful interactions.
Meaningful.
Yeah.
But
It has to be more than like 5 people. It's got to
No.
be closer.
Yeah,
But
to
it can
like
exist in
100.
a persistent world too. I don't think it has to be instanced. Why not?
I don't know.
No, but like, do you really want some random stream that you may not even know about affecting your
Well, it's
world?
not just their stream; it's everyone's stream affecting everyone's world.
Yeah, I don't know how that would
A
work,
lot of
but that would be
possibilities. A
interesting.
lot of possibilities.
Yeah,
Let's
I
leave it
just-
there.
Exactly. A lot of
but the
possibilities.
point is, how is that going to work? And like, if you have a bunch of streams going on at once, how is that going to work?
We don't know.
It's in an MMO, it's different. You're not like 10 people that are possibly streaming. It's potentially hundreds of people
Yes.
in one world, each with thousands of people that are watching them. How are they all going to affect the same world? How does that work?
Jeff Bezos is
Again,
going to hire geniuses.
The logistics are unexplained in this theory. I do want to, before you veer off to way, the gameplay video we're seeing is not the MMO. This is actually, there's no actual gameplay for the MMO that Amazon specifically talked about. What you're seeing is a game called Breakaway. They announced 3 games: Breakaway, Crucible, and New World. New World is the MMO, and that is, we're waiting to see some gameplay on that one eventually. And they did specifically use the word MMO, which has me excited. And it's going to be a sandbox game, so something probably like Rust, but in that 17th century world, and whatever cool elements they want to incorporate in there. But it's a survival game.
Prediction time. Industry prediction time. I
Let's
say
do it.
Amazon is gonna buy Crytek if this goes decently well. They already have like an unlimited license to Lumberyard, which is just a reskin.
It is built on it,
Yeah,
yes.
and they're allowing anyone, including us, to download Lumberyard and make a game. So it's a pretty wide
Because it's-
license they have from CryEngine.
Because it's basically CryEngine.
Right, but we can download it and play it for free, like use it for free, which means Amazon has a pretty wide license that they can allow other people to download it.
I'll make it even broader. Amazon is going to buy Steam. It's a match made in heaven.
But that was
Amazon's
made
like
in
a-
heaven for 10 years. It just hasn't happened.
You're right. It hasn't made. It's been
Yeah, but Amazon never showed interest in gaming beforehand either. except-
before Twitch.
true.
Twitch got the ball rolling on gaming, as did these new games they announced.
One more point I want to hit on Twitch before we move on. Twitch actually had their TwitchCon the past week. A lot of cool stuff. You know, some DJ was there, Steve Akoya or whatever, and he bought a League team actually for some reason. But more interesting for me is Twitch is now going to allow anyone, any Twitch account, to upload videos, like pre-made videos, like onto their channel, kind of like how YouTube has videos. And this is I think it's a huge salvo against Google. And I think this one's gonna land. YouTube tried to copy Twitch with streaming. It kind of didn't go anywhere. Now it's Twitch's turn to fire a shot by allowing uploads of videos, and I think it's gonna land. We're gonna upload all our past podcasts and Omer's first looks and all that kind of stuff to our Twitch channel. So if there's people among you that don't go on YouTube, you can see our stuff here.
What are they gonna do about like having to deal with like copyright and all that bullshit? How's that gonna work?
I think it won't land for 2 reasons.
Sure, the same way that works on YouTube. You can upload gaming videos on YouTube. There's no problem.
Yeah, I'd argue a lot of the copyright problems YouTube has is non-gaming related, right? Because YouTube is general purpose, so like people upload clips.
Yeah, I mean the same thing with us though, right? Like if you upload like clips from like because we do the podcast, right? You're mentioning uploading it on there. I mean, I wonder like if that's gonna be better or worse than YouTube.
It'll be better for now. If the video part takes up, then right owners might come after them. But for now, I think even things that would be caught on YouTube are going to go unnoticed. A copyright will go unnoticed on Twitch. That's my guess.
That's cool.
Yeah,
Actually-
but I was going to say, I think it's not going to land for 2 reasons. And one of them is, we talked about it yesterday a little bit, but loyalty. Like, I don't think anybody's going to be moving off of YouTube anytime soon, especially not with like major streamers currently signed to YouTube Red. And I mean, they just got good deals with that. So, I mean, you're really not going to see a lot of streamers moving, which means you're not going to see a lot of people moving. And the second one is that you would have to have some sort of comment section or like have persistent chat on a per video basis in order to really create the sense of community that YouTube has and really pull people over. And I don't see them doing either of those things.
But I mean, I don't think it can hurt them in the sense that you don't have to be exclusive, right, to YouTube. You can just have it on both.
Well, it's not going to hurt them. I just don't think it's going to hurt YouTube either.
I mean, I don't know. We'll have to see. I have no special knowledge. It's just a hunch that I think a lot of people that are just go to YouTube for gaming content, now that Twitch offers this in time, they're not going to have a reason to go to YouTube. So they'll just stick to when it comes to gaming, they'll stick to Twitch, and then for cooking recipes or whatever, they'll go to YouTube.
Here's a fun fact for you guys. Twitch actually makes more money in advertising revenue than all of YouTube's gaming content. That includes their live
Really?
streaming. It includes all their trailers, all the videos that I watched on YouTube for gaming. There's actually more money made from Twitch gaming than there is from all of the YouTube gaming, which is pretty impressive considering how large of a platform YouTube is. And it's
Yeah.
all according to Super Data.
I'm actually surprised by that.
And the volume numbers, perhaps I'm not reading this chart correctly. Maybe I'm retarded. I'm showing you guys a chart. Help me out over here. Look at these percentages. Look at viewing volume. It says YouTube commands the largest viewership, 73%, while Twitch earns the highest global revenue, boasting 1.6 billion. And this is in 2015. It shows YouTube and Twitch. So YouTube splits. You see by viewing volume and by revenue. So what are these these
You're
percentages?
Right. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, you're right. Twitch makes more money on gaming, but YouTube is a much bigger audience.
But how much bigger? Because what is the percent of the gaming market that belongs to Twitch? It says 53% is their viewing volume,
No.
but YouTube's viewing volume is 73%. Those are more than 100%.
By viewing volume.
Does Super Data not know how to use percentages, or am I retarded looking at this chart? One of
There
these two
might be
things.
crossover.
Yeah, crossover. It might. I don't know.
Oh yeah, you're right. There's crossover that makes sense then between all of them. If they're double counting all the overlaps, I guess. But regardless, you can see that the size of the audience isn't actually between Twitch gaming, the number of hours people are watching, how many viewers there are between Twitch and YouTube. YouTube is not that much bigger.
Yeah, I'm surprised. And probably a lot of that YouTube is just trailers, right?
Yes, actually, the most popular gaming content on YouTube is trailers. So honestly, just on the game, if you take out trailers, Twitch is already bigger. And also, keep in mind when you're watching YouTube videos, typically you don't watch that long. But when you're relaxing and you're watching Twitch, the average person watching a Twitch stream is watching for hours, not minutes. Whereas it is minutes on YouTube at a time. So the viewership is going through the roof. And I do think it's smart for Twitch to try capturing the static market as well that YouTube dominates. Why not, right?
Yep. And there's something we said for specialization. Twitch is a gaming site platform, so they can move faster than YouTube does. YouTube can't cater to just the gaming genre the way Twitch can at the same speed, at least.
Yeah.
I mean, they're trying with this YouTube gaming stuff, but it seems half-hearted. It seems confusing more than anything else. Like, is it part of YouTube? Is it like a separate thing? It's confusing.
Nope.
There it is.
I think Twitch is playing the long con. I think. See, I don't know. I'm pulling this one out of my ass. Here's an out of my ass fact. I would say that younger people who are younger, who are not as old as us, are more drawn to Twitch now, to the communities around a single streamer, and still someone like PewDiePie on YouTube. But I can see in a couple of years more people engaging with gaming content through Twitch solely, especially if they're just gamers. If they just play games, like on YouTube, I watch random crap all the time. But if you're just about games, why wouldn't you go to Twitch or hang out in your favorite streamers chat and whatnot?
Yep.
Whereas YouTube, you can't do that. You don't have that. I think there's something special about live chat. Maybe that's a different conversation. There
Actually,
really is.
Yeah.
Wrote a great article on it if you're curious on MMOs.com about like Twitch is the online gamers internet couch.
That's good. I'm going to link it right now. It is a great article. And that's something that YouTube can't replicate because it's comments.
Mhm.
So, you just spam. I'll spam it too. Here we go.
All right, the double spam. I like it.
We sandwich Socrates.
I like it.
And there's also that the person streaming can directly,
Mhm.
you never know, they might interact with you,
Mhm.
I know we do a lot on MMOs. We try our best to interact with people whenever we're live streaming.
Mhm.
And I mean, even with bigger channels, I'm sure
It
there's
happens, yeah.
yeah, it happens, and it kind of bridges that gap. Makes makes the other person feel more like a real person.
Yeah, I don't put a lot of emphasis or I don't know, respect on Twitch streams, but now that I think about it, a lot of people I met on Twitch streams, right, for the first time, I ended up meeting in real life within a year or two, and that hasn't happened in other platforms. So there is something to be said about live chat, seeing somebody, and the connection you build that way is a lot stronger than time lag through comments or even YouTube videos.
Yeah, I agree. It's community. YouTube doesn't have that.
Hashtag deep.
All right, let's take this to an MMO discussion because this is the MMOs.com podcast, guys. Rather than general gaming stuff. Revelation Online, PP features detailed. This is actually pretty interesting when I read the news. Go ahead and show off that PP trailer on the embed over there. But what I like is that once you get level 40, is the game has open PvP anywhere.
Oh,
Is that kind of cool though?
Yeah, I think Terra does something like that, where they have a new server where OpenPvP only kicks in at max level.
But here's what's kind of weird about this, because I know like a lot of these older Korean MMORPGs and Asian MMORPGs are pretty cool with OpenPvP, and it kind of died down recently. Here, but again, if you just PK people and they don't fight back, you get harsh penalties for that. Just like killing somebody, you get penalized.
Yeah,
And what
they
I
take
don't-
away durability on your gear or sometimes gold.
But what seems weird is you get penalized for the act of killing somebody, which whereas in older games, like I think Lineage 2 did this, and a lot of games did the same system, whether it was Conquer Online, I think it was a lot of Chinese games did this too, where if you PK people openly, your name turns like purple and you gain like negative karma, and then when you die, you have a chance of dropping an item. And the more people you kill, the higher chance you have that when you die, you will actually lose an item or it'll fall on the ground and somebody can pick it up.
Mhm.
That was an interesting way of punishing players because losing a piece of gear is huge in MMO. But
Yep.
there's a risk to it, you know. If you kill somebody and you die, you get penalized, and you only get penalized once you actually die. Though here, you get penalized on the act of killing someone, which I feel like is kind of silly. But beyond that, the game has a bunch of PP options.
Well-
You've seen the video.
Here's my thing, and it's just that if you penalize people for killing people, what they're going to do is they're going to grief them down to a certain amount of health to where they can't do the content,
Mhm.
and then just sit there. And every time they regain health, they're just going to beat them up until they can't, like, and grief
Right,
them
yeah.
repeatedly.
That's
Yeah,
really
and it's-
annoying.
And that is way more annoying than dying, respawning somewhere else, and just waiting it out. I mean, so much more annoying.
But the cool thing is that they have 33 arenas, 30 versus 30 battlegrounds, and upwards of 100 versus 100 guild wars. But I did like the fact that they did put some thought into like open world PvP, which again I feel like a lot of games kind of gave up on. I mean, props to Black Desert Online for having that as well.
He's fighting with wings, though.
I still got very Blade and Soul vibes from this gameplay trailer so far. But I mean, people seem to disagree with me. But when I play the game myself, I'll find out for sure.
It doesn't play like Blade and Soul, I can tell it.
I say play. It gave me vibes. All right,
Yeah.
it's sending me
Vibes.
signals.
You
The
guys have
Wuxia,
vibes.
the Wuxia thing. You know one thing I don't like wings in games. I don't want to digress this, but just putting it out there. Don't like these wings.
What's
That's
Well,
why I
I-
like Bless. I can just capture a dragon and ride that.
Yeah,
instead.
Chinese
Yeah, I like
people are
that better.
obsessed with human flight. I've picked up on that.
That might be true. That might be true.
Something in there, some mythology or some, I don't know what it
That
is.
Christianity right there, is that the missionaries' fault? There's a lot of excitement for Revelation Online, and I think it's just again peer pressure. I actually feel the excitement too every time I read a post, people are hyped for it. I wish it the best, and I'm looking forward to playing it. CBT, it's funny. It's October, right? And most times you announce your closed beta test, and you're like the month before you actually give a date. But for some reason, Revelation Online has been silent. I'm expecting them to announce the closed beta, then it starts the next day. Or it's the end of the month. I don't know.
Do we know it's
They-
October?
But we know what's happening this
Yes,
month.
they said it was
Yeah, we know it's
October.
October. We just don't know when. It could be any day now. It could be now. I don't know. We don't know.
We do still have the founders packs. The drawing is 6 days from now. However, if the closed beta is announced for like 2 days from now, we'll do the drawing right away. It's just so you guys get your founders packs. But if you're listening to this hang around after the podcast too. We still have 75 closed beta keys to give away at the end of the podcast. So if
Sorry,
you're here,
YouTube.
you're most likely gonna get one.
Actually, we actually started on time today, so we are quickly running out of time, so we can wrap it up and do the giveaway soon.
Do we have anything else worth mentioning over here?
I think we should mention this. Bless Online
Yep.
is another game that has some hype behind it, and the Russian open beta test was recently announced, which means that hopefully the North American beta test will follow. But I believe it's two different publishers. Area Games is publishing it in North America.
Oh boy.
So I'm not sure when that's going to happen, but the RU test will take place October 25th. In the past, you've been able to participate in Russia betas, and we've been able to without IP blocks. So maybe we can try it out then. Well, that I just linked the wrong post, but
Yes, you like Mobile Legends, so
I linked the wrong post. But I know Matt's been playing Bless. Matt, do you want to give us any?
So I'm going to start with this. Okay, so Area has delayed whatever plans they had because of the combat system and some optimization issues, and I'm going to talk a little bit about it. So combat, okay, basically I'm going to give you a elevator pitch, and it's basically like take Riders of Icarus, give it a more realistic vibe, grittier feel, like really nice graphics, and change up combat and basic gameplay and some of the other systems. And it just has so much in common with Riders of Icarus, but it's also so different at the same time. And one of the things that I had issues with in Riders of Icarus was that the combat felt really like cheap, I'll say. And the problem with Bless's combat is that every attack feels like it has weight behind it, but it feels like it has too much weight. Like your character threw his entire swing into one attack and it has to like wait a second and like for his muscles to like loosen back up so he can pull his arm back. You know, it's weird. It's hard to describe other than that. But it can feel sluggish at times, and the cooldowns on skills are absurd at times. Like, there's this one skill that does maybe like 5% damage to an enemy of my level, and it's like a 30-second cooldown. And I'm sitting there like, oh my god, why do I have to wait so long? I hear that. I don't know what it says, but I hear that message going, you can't use that skill right now in Korean all the time, because I'm sitting there like, why isn't this up yet?
Okay,
but,
important question. Does it feel fluid?
It depends. Like,
It's not good. It's not good.
What I'm going to say is...
No, it doesn't.
Everyone's going to be different, and in my experience, you have to find the right class. Like, you're gonna find the rhythm of a certain class, but there are going to be classes that just don't feel fluid and the timing doesn't feel right to you. I mean, you really just have to try each of the classes and find one that works for you, because Bless is one of those games that it's just... combat is so different from character to character.
And it is not targeted, right?
No, it's not. Okay, so that's also like Riders of Icarus. It has a tab targeting mode and a non-targeting mode, but the non-targeting mode uses tab targeting mechanics. And if you attack something while you're in non-targeting mode, it will auto-attack if you stay within range. So, I mean, it has a non-targeting mode, but it's not non-targeting. And one thing I do want to mention, okay, so the skill system is really cool because it has a bunch of different types of skills, right? And you have like your active skills that you put on your bar, you have your special active skills, you have some what I think are passives, I don't know what all of them are. And then you have this other skill that is like, it has a like certain character associated with it, I'll say, and it'll have like a face on it and a name to it. And these skills will change the way your class plays. Like you get a certain one as you go on, and you can change it at any time. Like all your skills your entire loadout can be changed up, and there don't seem to be any kind of skill points. You just get more skills. And basically what it is like I had a basic attack as a paladin where I just swung my hammer at things, right? When I changed it to that other character skill, whatever it is called, it replaced my basic attack with this active skill that I had to hit every time that was ranged, and it dropped like a lightning strike on enemies. It was pretty cool.
Beyond just the skills, when you move around, when you hit the space bar, when you just like auto attack,
it feels nice.
Does all that feel nice?
It feels nice. It feels pretty nice.
Can you jump over fences?
It depends. Some fences you can jump over, and some you can't. There are a lot of
invisible like real life.
I hate invisible. All right, are the zones like do the zones feel like massive or like large?
Oh, it's open world. They're pretty massive.
Okay,
and
good.
I mean, the cities have more impressive scale than most games I've played.
All right, that's a good
sign. The entire game has no loading screens except for instance dungeons. I mean, that's different though.
Yeah,
always been different.
Right.
And
key question, a deal breaker for me. Is there a lolly race?
Yes.
Okay.
And they're furries.
It's pretty important.
Hold on. Let me show you. Okay, I'm going to show you
furry lollies. I don't know furry lollies.
Cat made both of these characters, and I'm trying to find it.
Oh no! It's a furry lolly though.
That's a mount. I don't think I have just a regular picture, but.
There it is. A lot like a CRISPR Icarus from what I'm seeing in this random video I put up.
I mean, and it has all the mount taming and stuff, and like you have like different categories that they go under. Unlike Icarus, where you catch a mount and then you can turn it into a pet, each different thing that you can tame either as a mount, a pet, a minion, or another category that I have none of. So you can literally tame like anything, even humanoids, and they'll turn into minions.
You can tame humanoids. This game is pro-slavery. You heard it here first.
And they'll turn into minions, and they work like the garrison in WoW, like where you have the NPCs that you can send out on missions. Minions work kind of like that. So you tame them, quote unquote, and then like send them out, and they do stuff for you. And it's pretty cool.
I gotta say, it looks cool. Yeah. I do want to try it.
And there is one last thing I want to mention. It annoys the shit out of me. Bless has seamless instancing in a lot of cases, and you'll just see the world like there's a pulse that comes out from around your character, and it's like this blue pulse that goes over the land, and when that happens, you're instanced. And it just happens in the most random places sometimes. And it's so weird. And I'm just like, Cat, where'd you go?
Probably for like quests and stuff, right?
What'd you say?
It probably initiates those instancing for like quests.
Yeah, it's for quests. It instances you out for different like story moments and stuff like that. And it's neat that it instances you out in the open world, but it's also just like, what the fuck just happened a lot of times.
Yeah.
And
I'm excited for it too now. I'm seeing all the gameplay Alty's been showing in the background, and it does look a lot like Raz Rickers when they're flying around, though.
And just to answer Canaris' question, nothing is gender locked, but some classes are race locked.
I like that there's 8 races and 10 classes. Okay, so they're throwing a whole bunch of classes and races. I like that. A lot of games just kind of like give you like 2 races and then like 6 classes. I like a little bit of variety.
And I'm really excited to try out the Mystic tomorrow. Like I've been playing Paladin, and it's an off tank and also what appears to be the primary healer, but it's not a great healer, so it's pretty weird. And we tried duoing the first dungeon 5 levels after us, and the boss is just, you can't do it with 2 people. You need a party. I mean, it's just a regular human boss, but that thing kills the shit out of you, even 5 levels above it. It's insane.
The Russian was it open beta or closed beta begins at the end of the month, and hopefully Area Games version will be launched shortly afterwards. Usually, once it launches, it starts rolling off like outside the home country. Other countries will probably follow shortly afterwards. No official word on that just yet, though.
I'm skeptical that Area is ever going to put it out at this point, because after the merger, they had to reinforce the fact that they were still going to do it, and it's not doing well in Korea now. Because there are only 2 servers. I mean, and I haven't seen that many people in the low-level zones. It's been very few people, and like half of them, like literally half of them, have been high-level players flying over on dragons. So, I mean,
it's not coming out. It's not coming out by Area.
I'm not optimistic. And Area has also pushed it back because of issues with the combat, which, I mean, there's some issues, but it's not as bad as people say it is. Like I said, you really just have to find your class. It's one of those games. And it is poorly optimized, though. I mean, I want to say it on stream. It takes my computer 3.5 straight minutes on the splash screen before it loads up the actual application. 3.5 minutes.
That's pretty awful.
And once I get in game, while everything is loading, instead of loading everything seamlessly, like Black Desert and everything do, it stutters for a straight minute. Like, I timed all this. It stutters while everything is loading for a straight minute.
That's pretty. I hate that. It's. I know Altai brought up earlier, like how the file size of a game kind of shows the competence of the programmers behind it, and we talked a lot about Battlerite being like super compressed, like 1 GB, and it's an awesome game to fit in there. And we've seen a lot of Russian games like War Mode. I mean, I know the game is probably not the best, but it's very well optimized. That it runs like at 200 megabytes. It's amazing. So it's
not the file size. They don't load things right.
That's messed up.
They don't load things right.
Nothing really pisses me off more than like massive loading times. Even like FF14, sometimes when I first launched the game, it nags me in a weird way. But luckily in FF14, once you're in the game, you're fine. Just that first takes like an extra 15 seconds or so.
I mean, it's a shame though, because I mean the game is gorgeous. The game world is amazing. I mean, it is really immersive, and it's just like so far there's been such a variety of like cultures between the different races. Because I tried out the dog people before I tried out the lolly race, and I didn't cat people. Sorry, I didn't like the cat people race area because there was just this certain like vibe to the area. Like there was all this like dark mysticism and like slavery that was going on in that area, and it was like kind of like a mix of what I imagine they were trying to go for, a mix of like Greek and Egyptian, and it combined with the music, it just made me feel weird to be in that area. Like just something was off at all times, and it left a bad first impression. And then I turned around and did the lolly race, and there are like airships and steampunk shit everywhere, and it was awesome, and I really liked it. So,
well, I'm looking forward to it, but I think I might end up having to try it on the Russian version.
And
we'll see.
Speaking of airships, one thing it does really well: multiple modes of travel. Like, you know how WoW, you just have like different types of flying things. Like, depending on where you are, you'll fly on like griffins or dragons, or you'll literally be on an airship, or you'll be on like a gondola and just like traveling, fast traveling down a
Pretty
river.
awesome.
That is
it's
cool,
pretty
though. Yeah, I like that. It's a little thing, but it makes it feel varied.
Someone, I don't know if you guys mentioned this. Someone mentioned Chen. They saw Hans Zimmer's name, and he actually did the soundtrack for the game. So
Yeah.
That was
that's-
the
We
soundtrack.
brought that up before.
okay,
didn't
yeah,
we?
yeah.
The music's great. I mean, it really is. It's
Production
at some
value's up
points
there.
odd, but it's great.
What else? What else about Bless?
I'm hoping that Blessed. I'm hoping the Russian version doesn't have an IP block, and then we get the English patch going. Bada bing, bada boom. That'd be ideal.
I brought the Aria page up for a second, and here's why I was so sure Aria is not going to release the game. You guys remember when Aria Games said Lime Odyssey coming soon for 5 years?
Yeah, or longer.
Okay, so right now Bless is not even on the. It's not even on Aria. It's not even like on their PC game section.
You can't even find their page.
So for a game that was coming soon for 5 years, they kept it on, right? But for a game that's supposed to come out like in the next like few months or
6 months.
yeah, next 6 months, they don't even mention it. Come on.
I'm gonna take that form. If there's no form for it, then I give up. Let's see.
I mean, it's a shame, but I really do. I'm convinced that Aria is not going to do it. I'm very, very convinced of that.
Yeah, there's nothing on Bless. There's no Bless form. There's no release date. There's nothing. It just Bless.area games is the only thing, and it says coming soon.
Yeah.
So I think that's a pretty fair guess. It's not. I mean, even if it doesn't happen, at least the Russian the game will still be there, but most people aren't going to. Most people are not going to use a VPN to get to the game. So I'm hoping at least the Russian version doesn't have a VPN. But we'll have to wait and see.
I'm eager to get to like 30 or 35 whenever sieges start and try that out, because I heard you can just jump in without a guild and everything. And I'm looking forward to that.
Right. Well, we can look forward to Bless, to Revelation. So there it is. At least
All
these
right,
Asians get these games out. So we can say that.
I've always given credit for the Chinese developers for just pushing these games out, and Koreans as well. They get them done. They churn them out.
And just as a last note, I after Black Desert, I didn't think I was ever going to see it again, but Bless disappoints me in one major way, and that's that, like Black Desert, it is a gorgeous game that has one of the ugliest, most awful interfaces I have ever seen. Like, the icons are just truly terrible. They're just these black and white, like, they look like they came off of, like, you know, the old black and white Macs? They look like those icons. It is so bad. I don't even know why they did it, and it's just the boxes that they used for their windows are just black boxes, like transparent black boxes, like with a white border around the edges, and it looks so bad.
All right, that is Bless Online. I am eager to give away these Revelations keys now. I think everyone should be able to get one because we have 128 viewers right now, and I doubt everybody wants one. If you don't want a key, you're not interested in Revelations, pass on it. But
All right, you're giving away during the post game, right? So
Yep.
if you guys are watching on YouTube, know that Twitch is the future, and that if you want free giveaways and some other extra
Wow.
content from us after the podcast, check us out live at 4 p.m. Pacific time till starting time on Tuesdays. Boom.
Yep. And
Take it
again,
easy,
this
guys.
is unannounced, so we don't have a lot of people camping for these keys. Basically, any of the regulars on the podcast have a chance of getting these first. So later for YouTube, hang around
See
for
ya.
everyone else.
Bye.
Peace.
See you guys.
All right.